The following is a presentation of the Nerd Complex Podcast Network.
We would like to welcome you to Audio Suplex Live, brought to you by the Nerd Complex Podcast Network.
That's you.
I know.
That is what you sound like. Were you in like a
Batcave.
the Batcave? Okay, I
Not
was wondering.
No, not the Batcave.
A Batcave. A Batcave. I was wondering how you got that really good, classic, audio-based echo effect that you have in that. That's really good. I like that.
I recorded it at your last birthday party, and there was no one in there, so it echoed.
Oh, welcome to episode 19 of Audio Suplex Live.
Is it 19?
You ready to do this in front of our guests? Because I don't think they want to go down this road with us right now. So a little bit of background for you guys. We have an ongoing dispute between Corey and I where he thinks our pay-per-view specials that are separate from the main show.
No. Yeah, notice he's doing this because it's not real.
They're separate from the main show. So every
quoting it.
Thursday is Audio Suplex Live, a new episode, which you guys are all checking out right now. Those are the ones that have numbers to them. All the other episodes, they're just kind of like, you know, little bonus things. They're not really like, you wouldn't call every pay-per-view WrestleMania. It's not like we're on WrestleMania 237. You know what I'm saying? Like, WrestleMania is our weekly thing.
Okay.
Everything else is just a B show.
Okay, you convinced me.
The feud continues. So, Corey, we have a couple of guests with us today.
I can see one already.
Yeah? Which one?
The Alex, the Ace. I don't know which one. Ace is over there.
Way to go, Corey. So we've got from Northwest Ohio Wrestling here in our beautiful town of Toledo, Ohio. We have with us the Natural Aces, Ace Myles, Sam Beale, and NOW's very own, the notorious Alex Jordan. How are we doing, guys?
Going good. How's it going?
Good.
Great. I'm having a great time.
Yeah? All right.
Yeah, it's so far so good.
Yeah.
I'm semi-decent.
So we are hot off the heels of
Literally.
NOW Uprising. Yeah, it's very warm in the podcast studio today, boys. We are hot off the heels of NOW Uprising 10, I believe it was. Yep. Qualifying match for the upcoming ladder match, the Feaster. Was it Feast or Fortune?
Fight for Fortune.
Fight for Fortune, yep. The Fight for Fortune qualifier match, you and Alex Weir.
Yeah.
Phenomenal match. We actually, spoiler, have got some really cool Audio Suplex Live stuff coming up with that.
Sweet.
Got some footage.
Yeah.
I'm down to see that
Yeah.
myself.
And then you guys had a phenomenal match with the Spirit of Detroit reuniting in NOW Wrestling for one night. Very briefly. I'm not going to spoil anything for anybody, but
Yeah, it was fun.
yeah, it was a hell of a match. You guys absolutely brought the house down. So
Did.
It was an exciting week of wrestling.
yeah, very exciting week. So we had you guys in the studio today because we want to get some of our listeners familiar with you guys and give you guys like kind of like a platform to kind of, you know, talk and get yourself out there. We'll talk about your guys' like background in wrestling. We'll talk about where you guys got started and where you guys kind of see yourselves going. So
Dope.
yeah.
Let's do it.
So we'll kind of just start, and whoever wants to kind of start off the conversation with us here. What was your first like memory of like pro wrestling? Like as like a youth, or even if it was like 2 weeks ago, you're like, that's what I want to do. Like I want to get in the ring and take bumps and do the thing.
I got a pretty funny story. So when I was younger, I remember I'm playing, I have a bunch of friends over, and I'm sitting in the living room, and we're playing The Floor is Made of Lava, which everybody's played before.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Game. Classic.
People still play it.
Yeah, we're sitting there playing, and my dad calls me into his room. And I'm just like, what do you want, Dad? I'm in the middle of a very important game. Quit bothering me. And he's like, check this out. And it was a Raw building up to SummerSlam. And I'm just like, okay. I'm just like, so what do you want? He's like, check this out. And I look at him, it's like, okay, cool. Can I go back to my game? He's like, yeah, sure. So then I go back, start playing, and then I kind of felt bad, so went back to him like, hey, what was that? And watched it, and that's what got me into.
Really?
Yeah.
What year would that have been? SummerSlam?
It was the SummerSlam that had Shawn Michaels versus Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
What was that? 2007 or 8? I can't remember. 2006 maybe.
I think it's later.
That's
than
the
6.
infamous match where like Shawn Michaels oversells everything that Hulk Hogan does.
Beautiful.
Like,
And that was also the match that made me fall in love with Shawn Michaels because of his overselling.
people say that there's no room for comedy in wrestling. Come on, classic. Yeah. So yeah, awesome. So your first interaction with pro wrestling was selling pro wrestling. Yeah. Just kind of like no, I'm not into this. I'm gonna go play The Floor Is Lava.
Yeah.
Nice.
Exciting.
What about you, Alex?
My first memory was probably back in, I was real young, probably about 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
My mom, actually, and my aunt used to go to some of the Nitro events.
Yeah.
And Thunder. And there's a picture somewhere buried down.
Please be Disco Inferno.
No. Way back when, my mom actually is friends with Chuck Palumbo. Yes. And his friend Sean. I don't know his last name.
Stasiak?
Was it? No,
It
wasn't.
might be.
It wasn't Sean O'Hare, was it?
No.
Okay.
It might be Stasiak. But they were all friends back in the day. How, I don't know. But that got him interacted with Kevin Nash. Well, back in the day, when I went to the show with him, I met Kevin Nash at one of the Nitro events when I was like 3. And I got a picture where he's holding me up on his arm like this when I was a baby. And actually, it was just last year when I actually got to meet Kevin Nash again at Bay City, I believe, in Michigan.
Nice.
So, yeah, that was probably my first, and then I just kind of stuck with it ever since. Some kids grow out of it. I never did.
Nah, well, we're a prime example of kids who definitely never grew out of it.
Well,
because,
I watched it as a kid, and then I think after I graduated high school, I got out of it for a couple of years.
yeah, it's kind of
And then
a
it came back.
mutual story. If you saw me pop there a little bit for the Nitro reference, one of the ongoing plots of the show, if you guys aren't familiar, is that Corey hates WCW, and I try to make him watch WCW whenever I
If
can.
it wasn't terrible, it'd probably be all right.
And I was a big WCW fan growing up. Like my first wrestling event I ever went to was a Monday Nitro in Philadelphia at the Spectrum. Shouts out.
it was probably bad.
It was fantastic. The main event was not really good. It was Ric Flair
Have you
versus
gone back
Lex Luger.
and watched it on the network? It's probably up
I have
there.
actually. I've watched
You
it a few
watched the
times.
one you were at?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's so
I'm up in the
cool.
nosebleeds with my dad, my uncle, and my brother. So there's like no possible way. But I'm sitting there probably with like an Alex Wright sign or something like that. Like, super excited. Like, yeah, bring
See,
Disco Inferno. I love Glacier.
When I was a kid, we only ever had like house shows in Toledo at the sports arena.
Yeah.
So I never got. I can't go back and watch those. It's hard for me to even remember what was on the card.
Right,
back then.
right.
Like, ugh.
Sam, what do you got?
Well, my earliest memory was back way when I was a young kid. Me and my brother Scott, we used to play on the Nintendo 64.
Oh, what game?
Yes.
Yeah,
No
the
Mercy?
wrestling games, and he loved Stone Cold, so obviously I loved him because he was my brother and everything. But like that was like kind of what made me like get into it, and I like would watch it. And then I kind of grew out of it for like a while. Like I never really like paid attention to it. But then like my freshman year of high school, like oh man, I just every single night, every time I would watch it, it's like a religious thing for me.
Oh, yeah.
Me and him would come like hang out. Me and Ace would hang out and just watch it together. Every pay-per-view, every Raw, every SmackDown.
Nice.
It just would be something we'd do. But I think the thing that really made me want to do it, like do and become a professional wrestler, was one time at work. My work is sometimes I don't do much work at work, but I mean watch some videos. And I was watching on the network the Seth Rollins 24, like when he tore his ACL.
Yeah.
And like I was just like sitting on my lawnmower, and I'm just like, dang, I have to do this. Like this is my calling. I want to do it. It's something I have to do. Yeah. And like I just searched something, or I was looking for a training school around here, and I found NOW and just started getting rolling.
Yeah. And the rest is, as they say, history.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's relatively recently. So that's
Yeah.
The Seth Rollins thing just aired what, last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
What was your? I gotta ask. What was the go-to game on the N64?
I mean, I personally, my favorite game of all time is on the N64. The Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Okay, yeah.
Oh man, I can go back and play that every single day, and
There's a lot. Yeah.
love it.
Nice.
in terms of wrestling games. No Mercy's the best.
Oh yeah,
I will concede that, but I was also, surprising nobody, a big fan of
This one's good.
NWO versus Revenge.
That one's good.
It's a very good game.
I liked Thunder back in the day.
Thunder was good. Thunder had like the cool like selection screen where they would like. My favorite was when you go to like select your wrestler, they like cut like a little promo when you're like going to pick them. Like Alex Wright has this like infamous one where he goes like, "If you want to, I will lead you to victory. with the German, like Alex Wright. And so
I don't even know who that is.
Alex Wright?
I have no idea who that
I
is.
will teach you who Alex Wright is after the show.
It shows you how much WCW I watch. I mean, he never came to WWE, did he?
But, and this goes back to what Alex was saying a second ago, Kevin Nash's was absolutely the best. Because
Yeah.
he would do this thing where he goes, like, do you remember this? He would go like, don't pick me. Pick like Diamond Dallas Page or pick somebody else. Just don't pick me. Just go somewhere else. Like, he would just like wave you off of his screen. Super funny.
Did you ever pick him?
All the time. I was a master of the jackknife. You kidding me, dude? I would just I would spam that power bomb all day. Absolutely. So I'm just going to go ahead and say it because one of the things I noticed about you guys, and this is actually ties into what you were saying a second ago about kind of in the last year or so getting into wrestling. You guys are all kind of young. I'm going to say it. But you guys are at a level here where you guys are like, I'm not even saying this as trying to put you over. You guys are all really good for where you guys are at in like your professional wrestling careers. Do you think that your age kind of like prohibits you a little bit, or do you think it plays that into like as a benefit?
I would say that it's kind of a mixture of both. Whereas to some people believe, and it's true, your age isn't all that, your maturity isn't all that up there yet, so you don't really have the right to make certain decisions or have an opinion, as some would say in the business. But also, I believe it's also in our favor because whereas to some guys are getting into it, really late in their careers, 25, 26, 27. I mean, even though that's still young, but we're getting in it at 19, 19 years old, 18 years old, and we just, it provides more of a longer career, I would say.
I would also say it like gives us more of a like time to learn and like gather in much information. Like it's like we're starting at like I started at 18. I know Ace did too, or he might have been 17. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I was 17.
Yeah, but we're gathering so much information in our first year, and like I just want to see what more information we get from like the second year and the third year
Absolutely.
and the fourth year.
You got a lot more time for trial and error, whereas some guy that starts when he's in his late 20s,
Yeah.
you either got it, you don't at that age. You
Yeah.
don't have real time to spend 10 years trying to perfect the art.
Yeah, you guys still have like a lot of career ahead of you to figure out certain things, which is I think plays to your benefit, from an outsider's perspective at least. So
Just to give more kind of like a perspective of where I'm at, I just graduated high school yesterday.
Yo, congratulations,
Yesterday.
my dude, a little too sweet right there. Hell yeah, Corey, congratulate.
Congratulations.
Thank
My brother
you.
graduated yesterday as
Yo,
well.
Corey,
Yeah, that's
Jesus.
cool. I feel like it definitely helps us out because when we start out young, we're I mean, like you said, we got time to grow. We got time to figure out what we do.
Yeah.
And we got more time to
Grow your characters into
Yeah.
something that is appealing to the masses.
So what's that like for you, man? At being like, I imagine there's not a lot of high school kids where it's like most kids are getting out of school and then going to like a day job or something like that, just like something a little part-time job or something like that, or they go home and do homework or whatever. You're leaving high school and going, hitting the ring and hitting the ropes and stuff like that. How does that play into like from that perspective?
Yeah, I remember back in the fall, I was waking up in the morning, going to school. As soon as school was out, I had football practice. As soon as football was over, I'd drive to wrestling practice, and I'd get home around 10, 11 o'clock at night, and then have to do all my homework then. And then
Jeez. Packing
and
it in.
And that was my schedule for all of the fall.
Unreal.
It was,
Dedication.
Yeah.
I barely had the motivation to get here at 12:45 today for
You're lucky I woke up.
Unreal. So, all right, cool. So, going back into like Corey, about like some of like the history of like favorite like wrestlers growing up and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
so I think you guys kind of maybe hit on a little bit, like your influences growing up, like what wrestlers really, do you maybe model your wrestling ability or your style after? Not necessarily, but your all-time favorite wrestler. So I've mentioned this before. My all-time favorite wrestler has always been Kane.
I guess for background, I throw Kurt Angle out there because he's always been my favorite, hands down. He's the GOAT.
Not that I mean, I think I could probably wrestle like Kane if I became a wrestler. He's pretty easy.
I could not wrestle like Kurt Angle on his worst day or my best day. There's no way.
I got a chance. I can drop a clothesline off the top.
I
rope.
can barely survive with like a hangnail, let alone a broken freaking neck. Like there's hangnail. There's no episode this week. Cancel Audio Suplex Live. We're not doing a show this week, Corey.
I'll do it without you.
Yeah.
Probably be a better show, better ratings.
Unreal. Moving on.
My favorite wrestler is Shawn Michaels, as I kind of brought up earlier, but I kind of try not to copy Shawn, I'd say, because I don't want people to just be like, oh, that's a Shawn Michaels ripoff.
Oh, you're
right?
Dolph Ziggler. Is that what?
Yeah, yeah. I'm just, I mean, I definitely try and take some of his moves or some of like his facials and selling. I watch him a lot and try and use that into my character and into my wrestling, but I definitely don't try and copy him because I just don't want to be.
Yeah, you don't want to tune up the band.
Yeah,
That's too much. I like it. That's a good answer. Shawn Michaels, I think, is probably a lot of people's influence.
I was gonna say, if you're gonna pick like 3 to emulate, it should be in your top 3.
Oh yeah.
But,
I have to go with Jeff Hardy.
yeah.
I love his charisma. I think he's just awesome. And no matter what he did, he always tried to go out and give the fans a show. And that's kind of what I try to do in my career, is just go out there and just have fun and give the crowd something to remember.
And that's always a thing too. Like you can always tell when somebody's out there and truly enjoying what they're doing. And if you're truly enjoying it, then everybody else is going to get behind you just naturally. Like it's just going to be like an instant connection. So
I would say ironically, my favorite of all time, it's probably Dolph Ziggler.
Really?
Honestly, I just like everything about him. I just like, oh, I'm so happy about it. Like, I don't know. I get all giddy when I see him wrestle.
I gotta ask then, how do you feel about where he's going right now with his character, with like this kind of like heel, doesn't like anybody who shows up on SmackDown anymore?
See, personally, I think he's just too talented to waste, and I honestly think they're wasting him right now.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think they should take him, and I mean he should be a number like top contender. I personally think. I don't know if there's anybody in the ring that can like step foot to him. Like
He's got the quality. They just need to book him properly.
Yeah, exactly.
put him back in the Spirit Squad.
Bring him back.
Put him in a box and him back to OVW.
Third time's a charm. You bring him back a third time, it'll stick.
I still say this: the matches and the promos in his feud with both Dean Ambrose for the title last year, and then with the Miz after that for the IC title. That was a good stretch of like really good Dolph Ziggler stuff.
Oh
like,
man, it made me so happy. I'm the
was
biggest
really
Dolph
hoping.
fan ever. Yeah.
Hoping for a big push after that.
Yeah.
that promo when he's feuding with the Miz, and it's like the career versus IC title match, and he hits him with the super kick just literally out of absolute nowhere. I jumped out of my seat for that.
He was selling it like he legitimately might have been leaving. Like people were doubting, like, okay, maybe Dolph's going to be done for a while, and they did a great job selling that. It was a good call out. I forgot how good Dolph really is.
Yeah.
Nice. So we're going to take a second. We're going to plug another show here on the Nerd Complex Podcast Network. Corey's favorite show, my favorite show. Make sure you guys, Chicks with Picks. Chick Flick Picks here on the Nerd Complex Podcast Network. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Speedpot.
And I'm James.
And we host a podcast called Chick Flick Picks, where 2 adult males watch chick flicks and dissect them.
That's it.
They'll talk about it. We make fun of it and have some fun with it. So hopefully you will enjoy it right here on the Nerd Complex Network.
It's a fantastic show.
Chick Flick Picks.
It's literally, it's this dude, Peapod. He's been on the radio here in Toledo. He's a Toledo radio personality. Fantastic guy. Him and his buddy James, they watch chick flicks, and then they just like get together and talk about chick flicks for like an hour. So
That's
from
like
like
some jokes.
yeah, from the perspective of like just 2 dudes who've probably never watched a chick flick in their life. So
well, now they've seen several at least.
yeah, at least 3 that we know of.
Is it Notebook this week? What's the new
No,
one?
I don't. Do you know what episode they're doing? They just did Annie Hall.
That's right. Annie Hall was the most recent one.
Yeah, they just did Annie Hall, and then I'm apparently going to be on an episode coming up when they do Mean Girls, even though I still dispute that Mean Girls is not a chick flick. So
At least it's an easy watch.
It's a cult classic. It's a comedy.
Oh yeah, I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's a fantastic.
That's a good movie.
Anyway, so you kind of touched on this a little bit when we were talking about like the whole high school and then wrestling dynamic. We previously when we had Alan Graves on, we kind of touched on it. What is the training regimen like for you getting into, especially like in the first year or so of your as Alex's eyes roll to the back of his head?
I feel like a lot of indie wrestlers, it could be completely different.
Yeah.
You know, where you're training at and how much your dedication you're going to put to it. So
So whoever wants to jump in on that. Alex, I think you've got Alex definitely has an opinion on training.
I can tell that. When I first started off training, it was a consistent of a bunch of like cardio at first, and then we would get into learning the basics of professional wrestling, and that's kind of how it was with the regiment. It was it was a strict schedule. I was trained by Crimson or Justin Carnes,
CK3.
Yeah. So when it was that, it was strict. It was cardio first, and then we go into learning the basics like hitting the ropes, bumping, and then we'd work into other stuff like how to work a match, how to selling drills, stuff of that nature. When these guys came in, it was kind of like we were mixing in between a lot of trainers. There's a couple trainers at that point in time. A couple guys have had a hand in helping train me. But when these guys came in, it was kind of like the same way. There was some guys who would do cardio at the beginning, and then it would be, learning the basics, like I was saying earlier. And then there was a trainer who would probably blow you up quicker than anything and make you do cardio for probably like an hour and a half, 2 hours, just like continuously rolling around the ring.
But you're trying to build up that natural like stamina because a lot of people probably don't realize this, but when you're in the ring, you can blow up quickly. Like, because you not only are you like expressing a lot of like emotional stuff and moving around a lot, but it's there's a lot involved. Like you're moving around a lot.
And that's one thing that I've noticed is that you can have the best cardio out of anyone in the room, but when it comes to working in the ring, you notice like smaller things. It's not about cardio at that point. It's about how long, you can keep yourself fresh, and it doesn't just go past moves or hitting the ropes or anything like that. It's about giving off the emotion, selling your emotion to the crowd. That blows you up quicker than any back and forth hitting the ropes or anything like that.
Yeah, because if you're doing it right, and if you're not like directly involved in a match going on, let's say you're like in a tag or something like that, if you're not directly involved in the match, like you're not in the ring, you're still doing things. If you're doing it right, you're still actively like, part of the match.
I have a question. So you said something about practicing selling and that. Do you guys have training on promos or anything like that? Is that something involved in the training as well?
For a little while there, we were doing, we would cut a promo, and obviously there's a certain way how to do them, and then there's certain ways, there's a lot of other ways to do them as well, but it was, okay, you have 45 seconds to a minute. Cover this, cover the venue, cover the date, cover who you're working, stuff of that nature.
Right.
And then
hit the basics and fill it in.
And then hit them with a catchphrase, and then at the end, just take it home.
I got to ask, what's your catchphrase?
I don't have one right now.
Alex, we need to work on this.
Sorry
to put you on the spot, but
I don't have a catchphrase.
We'll work on it.
I don't need a catchphrase.
If you smell what Alex Jordan is cooking,
that is
sounds
not
like
the
it
thing.
might be copyrighted.
That's not the thing.
No, that's not that. Are you sure?
Is that not the thing?
Can you smell Alex Jordan?
Oh, didn't you guys have a video on your guys' Facebook of this? I was trying to like you were going through like all these different like catchphrases. All right,
Yep.
That's where I thought I recognized that
callback.
from. Yeah, I like that. That's what you call storytelling, Corey.
That's why I was always interested in how the promo stuff works, because I feel like that's a skill that maybe you could be great at wrestling, but that could be the skill that maybe a hurdle that you can't necessarily get over if you don't have the charisma on the microphone that can really stump your progress.
I'm not gonna lie, I struggle with that.
Yeah.
Talking and stuff like on the mic is not. It's kind of difficult for me.
Yeah.
I mean,
You guys have it easier. You're in a tag team.
Tag teams
That's
help,
true.
and
I have
also
to cover
That's-
everything
yeah,
on my own.
Yeah, I got him to help me, so that's all right.
and then you could always go your character in a different direction that doesn't talk as much. That's
Yeah.
just, you got to figure out what your weaknesses and your strengths are and try to adapt your character accordingly. So
Yeah, tag promos are definitely easier because we can kind of just feed off each other.
Right.
And because when you're by yourself, you don't have anyone. You kind of just
yeah, if you forget something,
have
you
to-
forgot it. You don't have your tag team partner to be like, oh yeah, and this too.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah, it reminds me of like when we're signing off, like at the end of an episode. It's not the same thing, obviously, but we have points we want to hit. We want to tell everybody like where to find us and where else and what's coming up and this, that, and the other thing. So,
And I'm like, Travis, you idiot, you forgot something.
Yeah, we always forget something. So
Travis always forgets something.
cool. So how long have you guys all been collectively wrestling? Like you, like I said, you're pretty fresh into it as well. Kind of like the last year or so, but
I've been going for about almost 2 years now.
okay.
Started when I was 19. I will be 21 next month. Yeah, I trained for about 6 months until I was able to get my first match, which was obviously I wrestled Crimson and his tag team partner Warchild or John Bolin. And then that was kind of like my first break into the business. And then after that, I started going into singles, and then now I'm here.
Nice. Where was your first show at?
NOW.
Okay. Nice.
It's been about a year for both of us. We started at the same time, like the same day and everything.
Did you guys know like early on that you were going to be a tag, or is that something that just kind of like developed over time?
We wanted to. That was what we wanted to do, or start out as a tag at least.
Yeah.
honestly, at first, I kind of wanted to roll solo. I did personally. I mean, no, at first I did, but then I was
Is this
like,
the beginning of the end for the natural
Are they
aces?
hinting at something here?
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I feel like the first time I saw you guys wrestle at NOW, you guys weren't a tag team. Is that correct? Were you guys not a tag team for a while? Or were you guys wrestling single matches?
I wrestled a couple singles before before we tagged.
Because I think I remember seeing you wrestle specifically.
Yeah. I had a fatal 4-way with Renzo, Sean Phoenix.
I feel like I was there for that show.
And
You
franchise.
probably were if I was there.
And then I had singles with Johnny Carrazzi. So.
Actually, I know for a fact I was at that
Yeah.
show. So shouts out to Johnny Carrazzi. But shouts out. So in the year or a couple of years that you guys have been wrestling, have you guys had anything like happen in ring that was just kind of like a funny story, like mid match, like either like something kind of like fell apart or
Your spot got ruined.
Yeah,
I was in a battle royal
always a battle royal.
like it.
not too long ago. It might have been it was kind of less than a year ago. And I was working at War Wrestling in a battle royal with Alan Graves, actually. And there's this guy, his name's Mr. Main Event. He likes to do the funny stuff. He comes out in like pink tights, bright pink tights. He's an older guy. He has this like suit where it looks like he's ripped. So it's already funny. And he's going around in the battle royal to random people and chopping us.
Yeah.
Now, what he didn't tell anybody was that he would pour glitter in his hand and chop you. so I get eliminated, and I go to the back, and I've got glitter all over me. I've got marks all over myself because he's going around secretly marking people with a Sharpie, going, "You're a mark, you're a mark, you're a mark."
Oh my God.
Oh no, I can't get to it fast enough.
And then
Mark.
the same thing with Mr. Main Event. I wasn't in the battle royal particularly, but it's a funny story. Trey Miguel was telling me about how he was in a battle royal with Mr. Main Event as well, and they had locked up in the middle of a battle royal, and now like everyone's doing their own thing around. So Doug's like, Trey, take me, get me into a headlock. So Trey gets him into a headlock, and they're working around while he's in a headlock, and he's like digging in his pants, and Trey's just like whispering. He's like, "Dude, what are you doing?" He's like, "I'm trying to get this cheeseburger out of my tights." So as they're, as
I
he's
need
trying
to
to get
see
this,
this guy.
he's awesome.
I need to see Mr. Main
He's
Event.
awesome. So as he's like trying to get this cheeseburger out of his tights, it falls in the middle of the ring. So
Now, are we talking like you went to McDonald's beforehand and
Yeah.
got like a McDouble or something like
Yeah.
that, and he's just working a McDouble? So he's kind of like the Joey Ryan, but with cheeseburgers.
Yeah,
Okay.
basically. So he pulls it
Good
out, and
Lord.
it falls. And it's in the middle of the ring. Everyone's doing their stuff, like, chopping people, trying to get them eliminated. And they're all working around this cheeseburger. Well, it gets to a point where, like, Trey shoves Mr. Main Event to the corner. Trey fumbles over, picks up the cheeseburger, whips it at Doug. It hits him, and he sails over and eliminates himself out of the ring.
By getting hit with a cheeseburger.
That is awesome.
And it was the funniest story I've ever heard.
That reminds me of the I've seen the spot a couple of times in matches where they'd get out like gummy bears. Have you guys seen that before?
A bag of gummy bears instead of tacks?
I
Is
just
that
saw.
what you're talking about?
I just saw in Joey Ryan versus Samantha Heights actually for Rockstar. They did that spot. They pulled out like a bag of gummy bears and throw it in the ring. And of course, like the announcers or commentators are selling it like it's the most dangerous weapon in the history of like professional wrestling. Like,
That's amazing.
Because you think it's
Unreal.
tax, right?
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
everyone's
yeah.
like, oh.
and it's gummy bears. Oh my
That's-
god,
little marshmallows would be funny.
super funny. This is the drop I was looking for, by the way. I have to get it in.
Oh, hi, Mark.
So,
Yeah, that's how it was, too. He'd go
name's
around,
Mark.
Mark.
How about you guys? Have you seen anything in your wrestling careers quite that crazy yet, or somebody selling a cheeseburger?
Not
I can't
quite.
really think of anything that stands out.
Not quite
No
a cheeseburger.
cheeseburger? No
worthy, but
cheeseburger stories?
Not that worthy.
That's
but-
hilarious.
That's pretty high profile there.
Oh man, so kind of, I'm glad you brought up Trey Miguel actually, because one of the points I wanted to kind of get across, and we talked about when we talked to Alan Graves not too long ago about this. Ohio wrestling right now, not only just in our city, like in here in Toledo, in our area, but Ohio wrestling in general is just kind of like, I feel like in a really good spot right now. We have not only NOW here in our own hometown, but we have, like we mentioned, Rockstar Pro down a little bit further south in Dayton.
Dayton's got a few, don't they?
Yeah, Dayton's got a few in that area. Yeah, and then Cleveland's got what's the big Indiana?
AIW.
Yeah, out in Cleveland. What's your guys' feel on like where wrestling's at in our region right now?
I mean, I think it's really hot. I mean, I think all the promotions around, even the little ones, like NOW and like there's PCW out in Toledo still too. What else? There's just so many like good shows to go to like in Ohio, and it's just awesome. I think it's so local, so you can travel anywhere like in Ohio. It's not too long of a drive, but
Right.
you can go see awesome shows. Like LPW, I forgot to mention them down in Fremont. They put on a great show every single time. I love it.
Yeah, I've been meaning to get out to one of their shows.
Was Alan
actually.
talking about that?
Yeah,
Maybe
maybe. No, he was talking about the Colossal Con that he went to. Was it Colossal Con?
Yeah, Mega
MegaCon.
area.
Yeah. I actually want to catch back up with him about that too, because he got to work that Star Wars theme match that he was talking about. I really need to know how that ended up going out. So if you're listening to this, Graves, you need you back in the studio ASAP. So. Yeah, no, like my big thing is like, because I look at the WWE roster, and you mentioned Dolph Ziggler earlier, but you have like Ziggler, you have Ambrose, you have Alexa Bliss, you have The Miz. Like those are all Ohio-born talents, and then you have, you know, even like some of the bigger indie names out there who's escaping. You have the Chris and stuff like that, you know, with
Sammy
LY4,
Callahan.
you know, yeah, exactly. Like,
Chris Hero.
Chris Hero. How can we forget Chris
We were
Hero?
just talking about him with Puck.
Puck. Yeah, shouts out. Shouts out to Puck if you're listening.
What the Puck?
Yeah, the Puck. So, where do you got? Where you at with Ohio wrestling?
I just kind of like, you kind of lose like scale of it, thinking it like, oh, I bet you every state's kind of like this, but like Ohio's just big with wrestling. Like with the amount of wrestling that we have and how good it is, it's incredible.
Yeah,
Wrestling and corn here in Ohio.
kind of like what Sam was saying. You can go like pretty much anywhere and catch like a good wrestling show. You got Cleveland, Toledo, Dayton. Does Columbus have any big indies?
I'm sure that I would assume they
I'm
would.
assuming they would.
I think there's a company actually called NOW in Columbus. I believe so. I think it's like
New Ohio wrestling.
yeah, that's what it is.
Might have to. We might have to investigate that.
We'll just have
Yeah,
a match
hostile
for the
take-
a match
Hostile
for the
takeover
rights
down there. Yeah, put the naming rights of your company on the.
on a poll.
Yeah, we could actually put our episode numbering rights
I'm
on
gonna
the
put you
poll.
through a table
Yeah.
if you keep bringing that up.
Whatever.
How about this one?
Yeah, we already have.
Yeah, we didn't tell you guys, but actually we were telling Alex before we went on the air. One of the traditions is afterwards we put Corey through the table, so that's how we
Great.
end each episode. That's why it's got the little seam in the middle there.
Dibs.
Dive.
I'll call it, and you knew this was going to come up with bringing you on the show because I've talked to you about this before. I'm fine with you calling dibs as long as it's a spine buster.
I can do that.
Okay,
I can
cool.
make that
Get a
happen.
mean spine buster on Corey through this table.
We're not going to film it though, guys.
Did you catch my Corey follows me on Twitter? Did you catch my Arn Anderson appreciation thread that I had the other night on Twitter?
I didn't know anyone liked Arn Anderson.
I love Arn Anderson. If you don't
I'm
love
just
Arn
kidding.
Anderson,
I'm
if you don't love Double A, then you can.
I'm just kidding, but come on, he was in WCW, right?
Yep.
Stop. Here we go.
I don't know. I
Corey.
just got a thing.
So like you hate like Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio.
No,
and all of them, huh?
no, they came to WWE. They wised up.
Oh, they came to the good guys.
They made it to the big leagues finally. Then I realized,
Yeah.
all the good ones came.
I will never defend WCW post like 2000 because then you're talking about like when
Yeah.
they had Mike Awesome as like the fat chick Thrilla, and then they had
Judy Bagwell on a pole.
Judy Bagwell on a pole. Who could forget? And then you had Booker T running around as GI Bro. Come on.
You can say anything about WCW from the beginning until the end, and it was all cheesy.
From
man.
1996 to 2000, WCW was hot.
Yeah.
Dude. WCW was really good. If they would have gotten this whole mentality of pushing the older talents, down everybody's throat, and you learned that. So a couple weeks ago, we made Corey watch. We did a retro pay-per-view
Uncensored
review.
98.
Uncensored 98, and the one thing that we both came away from that show was, it was a great card, except for the main event, because it was Hogan versus Macho outside of their prime in a cage with the goofiest finish in recorded history. Like
a no finish in a
there was
cage
no
match.
finish. It was Sting came out and like, whose side is he on? And then it just Sting. I don't even remember what happened. It was
He
so
got beat
bad.
up by both, and then Macho still left. I
It's
don't
a
know.
weird finish. Anyway, so bring it back from WCW down to more of an indie level. Who are some guys that you guys think are out there right now, either in Ohio or just kind of in general, that are some of your influences, or people that you think people maybe not knowing about, or people that need to be paid more attention?
Definitely Trey Miguel. When I first started, Trey was actually helping kind of train a little bit.
Yeah.
When I first actually met him, I actually picked him up to bring him to the show in NOW, and I did not like him at all. I thought he was an asshole. He was just a dick. Like, he didn't say thank you or, anything like that. And I didn't know how the business works, so I was like, all right, well, this dude's a douche. Moving on. So fast forward about a month later, I kept showing up, because I was actually 2 months behind when I showed up for training because they had started earlier, and so I would show up, late at night and try to get, some new training in and try to progress better. But Trey was always there to help me, so I got close with Trey outside of wrestling as friends and whatnot, and I just always, whatever he did, I would mimic it because Trey's just that good, and I think that being down in Dayton has definitely escalated him, and if you don't know who Trey Miguel is, you need to.
Yeah,
I remember catching him at some NOW shows back probably about a year ago.
Going down to Dayton has really helped him out immensely too, because like I feel like on the indie scene you always have that like upper crust of guys who are like the top of the indie scene. You're talking like your guys like the Young Bucks, but even beyond that, you have guys like
Dave Christ,
or Chucky T. Well, they're like your guys like that are now on like that cusp of going to that next level. You have
signed,
like OI4K going up against the Young Bucks for the ROH titles here, and I feel like Trey is like one step removed from that. Like he's like his foot's in the doorway of that next level.
being on weekly TV.
Well, although we have heat with him because he owes us an episode. He was supposed to
be on the show
a while back. So, and then the lines got crossed, and then I destroyed Ace's microphone. So, what about you, Sam? Anybody on the indie scene that people should be watching out for?
I think
Alex Jordan.
If I had to pick one,
next NOW champion.
Yep.
I mean, I think some of my favorite guys are like the Dre Jacobs. I love that.
Dre's
guy.
fantastic.
He's so good. He's so he's a big dude. He's like a scary looking guy, and he flips
can go.
with the best of them.
He can go.
Underrated.
Yeah, I know. I think he's super good. I think he should be, or more eyes should be on him than there are.
I would like to commentate one of his matches one day.
Are you saying that out of pity because he broke his eye?
I did not do that.
Wait, what happened?
I told him, I was like, are you saying that out of pity because he broke his eye?
Wait, you broke his eye?
Yeah.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Well, listen.
does I not work anymore?
I didn't break his eye. It was a mistake in the ring, and I kind of landed on him, and his orbital bone was not good afterwards. And it was
just a freak accident.
Yeah, it was just an accident. I mean, there's no heat. He just likes to bring it up and get it.
Just kind of rub it in every once in a while. Like, hey, remember that time that you destroyed my orbital?
Yeah, he says that a lot.
What about you? Turn into a program.
Yeah. What about you, Ace?
I mean, they've already brought up Trey and Dre. If I had to say someone,
Trey and Dre.
What else rhymes?
Slay.
Chris Chambers, one of our other trainers that helped us out.
Yeah, he can go.
Yeah,
he can go.
Yeah, I really like him. He's just, and he's just even more than that. He's just so fun to be around that it's I don't know. It's
you can tell he's having fun.
Yeah,
when he's out there.
I think that's the most important part about wrestling is that a lot of guys get they get confused or not. It's more like they're going so hard to try to progress, they forget to have fun with wrestling, and that's just kind of what we're doing. That's why we stay close, is because when we're out on the roads, whether we're not, it don't matter who we're with, we're still having fun with what we do, and I think that's the most important part with wrestling. I think that's forgotten a lot.
Yeah. And like we said earlier, like when you're having fun, the rest I think is just going to kind of come naturally. Like it's just going to fall into place.
I remember seeing something on Facebook talking about him having fun. Like I watched an interview with Dean Ambrose or John Moxley, and it was just he's talking about how everyone's all being serious and critiquing.
I saw that the other day
yeah,
too.
He's like just have fun. Go out there and have fun with it. That's what wrestling is. It's goofy. You're out there with tights with another man sweating. Just
and
go have fun.
You can tell he does that too. He lives that philosophy. And it works out for him.
And I do think sometimes people get too wrapped up into it. You can even look at message boards and Reddit and YouTube comments. People get so wrapped up in what the angles are and what's going on and
comments.
Yeah, Instagram comments. Have you guys ever read WWE Instagram comments?
Yes.
I want to do we're going to do an entire video series just on that where I just read comments from Instagram, and it's going to be.
Can we be on that to comment?
Absolutely.
We'll put them up on the screen, and we'll just be like, "Is this real or not?" And they'll all be real, and they'll all be ridiculous.
Now you just spoiled it.
We can edit this out. We're gonna cut that. Forget you heard what I just said.
Not coming soon from Audio Suplex Live. Don't just forget that even happened.
No, who cares if they know?
Yeah,
because they're gonna watch it and be like, "There's no way that's real." I know he said they're all real. No way.
Well, it's because they're a bunch of marks and just watch whatever we do. I'm saying, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, well, you're taking all that time.
It's way too long for me to set up my own.
Oh, hi, Mark.
All right, so
I have a question.
Yeah, go nuts.
So you guys wrestle for NOW, obviously. Do you guys do other shows like when you get a chance to go out of town? Are you the kind of guys that travel for that, or right now are you mostly doing the NOW thing?
We travel a lot. We've been down to LPW. Oh, in the mic. We've been down to LPW. We've gone to New Wave Pro down in Indiana, and I remember going down to Crave by, where was that, Cincinnati area.
Went to UWA. What else did we go to? We went to CIW. EHF.
And are any of these regular bookings that you're going on a regular basis, or this like whenever it comes up you go and fill in some matches?
We're trying to make them like regular, but I mean, we'll just see where it goes.
Well, now summer's here. You're done with school, so I'm assuming a little bit more free time to try to travel for that kind of stuff.
Yep, a lot more free time.
Exciting.
So I've actually kind of piggybacking off of Corey's question. One thing that's always like entertained me is the idea of like in your home fed in your own promotion or something like that. Like, so Alex, you work face here in Toledo for the most part, and so do the Aces. When you guys go elsewhere, have you guys had an opportunity to work heel elsewhere? Or?
I have. I've worked heel at a couple, for actually a handful of times at some other places, but mostly when I'm out there, I prefer to, if like, my main following is obviously at NOW as of right now, since I just started, and that's my home fed.
Right.
For the fans that do still, wholeheartedly believe, which I appreciate that as much as anyone, but like, I don't want to work babyface here, work heel here, and just have like, and because I'm posting my videos all the time on my page, so it's like, what if one of my number one fans sees this and they're like, well, why is he a dick here, and then why is he so awesome here? Like, I don't.
Maybe he just really hates Fremont. Like,
yeah. But I like to keep it, all solid. If I'm moving in a steady pace as a face, I'm going to keep it that way. And if it's time to turn heel, then I'm going to try and work that, of course it's always up to the promoter what he wants. Right. But, it's just actually just worked in the favor of me staying face wherever I go. So. Yeah.
Well, I think it also plays to your benefit, like your wrestling style kind of like, I know it's like a popular trope that, the high flying, acrobatic wrestling style tends to lean more towards.
I don't do that.
No,
I don't fly.
You don't fly?
No.
We'll find out. You got a ladder match coming up here pretty soon, so
I won't do anything. In that.
It's gonna be nothing but like
afraid of heights match,
chin locks, and
I'm gonna stay on the outside and throw things at people.
Gummy bears, actually.
Throw things at the briefcase and knock it down that way.
So, have the Aces ever had a chance to work heel? Either of you guys, or
no? We're pretty much babyface.
Yeah, you guys are pretty. You guys are pretty babyface.
I was gonna say I would have a hard time buying you as a heel unless
that guy's a heel.
Although if he turns, that'd be nice. Like no one would see it coming.
It'd be like the Hogan turn all over again.
My God.
There's no way.
Leg drop.
Who's the third man?
It's Ace Myles.
Ace Myles.
He's the third man.
He's so evil.
I mean, I would love to be a heel, but I just don't have to look for it, I guess.
Hey man, one day.
I think I would exclusively be heel if I was a professional wrestler.
Yeah, but you're not, so
I'm not.
Now
right.
you just have
I just practice being a heel in my regular life.
So one last thing I want to kind of ask before we get into like plugging what's coming up with you guys. Are there any matches, either or both, on like if you had to pick somebody like out of the WWE roster, or like a major indie roster, or even like on a smaller like indie roster, who would some of your dream matches be for yourself, or is it tag?
I mean, personally, my dream match is a tag match because with him, he's my best friend. But I would say me and him versus the Hardys.
Oh, I knew you were gonna say the Hardys.
That would be. I would say either us two versus the Hardys or us two versus New Day. Those two would be pretty good.
Both of those would be fun matches.
That's what I'm thinking.
Picturing like a Sam Beale and a Big E Langston.
That'd be
middle of the ring showdown. Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool.
I'd like to see you guys against Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
That'd be kind of cool. They're still doing it too.
Mm-hmm.
They're still working.
Unfortunately,
shows. They did that Hardy's compound thing where they had all the tag teams in.
Yeah,
they looked like they were 100 years old.
Apocalyptico, as I stumble across that. What about you, Ace?
Well, he's already got the tag matches out of the way. So if I had to go singles, I would want to.
He's already left you at the wayside, man. He's already plotting out.
He's giving him praise, and he's like, "Oh, who are you? Get out of
here!"
You're
putting over the team. He's sitting there thinking about, "No, this
is." He's
going to
do a single, and he's going to work it as a heel.
This starts the heel turn right here.
You said the two tag teams I'd want to face, so I'd probably go Sami Zayn or I really would like to face Biff Busick or Orny Lorcan. on
Orny-
NXT.
yeah.
Orny
That,
Lorcan's
those would be
good.
fun.
He's big between me and Corey. We put him over a lot when we were like
He's a
texting
good
each other.
wrestler.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
he's all around
fantastic.
good.
Oh, I love him.
We don't know much about his like character because he doesn't really talk, but
He doesn't have to, man. He just
He's a
comes
great-
out and
great
puts
wrestler.
boots to
Good look.
asses.
he looks like a guy I wouldn't want to mess with at a bar.
No, him and who was the guy we were talking about from NXT this past week?
The
Danny Burch.
UK guy, yeah, he looks a
Yeah.
lot like him. Well, he's a little bit bigger.
Let's put them in a tag. That'd be fantastic.
He looks just like Tommaso Ciampa, though. They had like that thing where they both.
Oh yeah, that bit where they had
on the Instagram video, they switched.
Who's that guy that wrestled Pete Dunne? Was it Pete Dunne that said "bad to the bone" on his stomach?
Oh,
You know
I
what
can't.
I'm talking
what?
about? Yeah, it's really stupid.
When was this?
On NXT last week.
No, that was
Who do you wrestle?
Danny Burch.
No. Okay, who's the other guy then?
The week before,
No,
on NXT, the only
maybe he
people
didn't
that
wrestle
I can,
Pete Dunne. Maybe he wrestled somebody else.
I
You don't
can't-
know who I'm talking about? It says "bad to bone."
You're
on
making
his-
this up at this
It
point.
looks really stupid, and they should make him remove the tattoo.
This is not even a real thing.
Okay. They did a really good job of you not noticing it because of the camera angles, but it's there. It says "bad to the bone."
Hey, if you insist, Corey.
He beat whoever he wrestled, so it wasn't Pete Dunne. He beat like at the last second.
I don't care about whatever slop jalop you're talking about. I want to know what Alex Jordan's dream matches are.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Shades.
NXT sucks.
This ain't about NXT, man. This is about the notorious Alex Jordan.
Yeah.
NAJ.
I'm gonna have to go with modern day. I'm gonna go Aleister Black because I love him. That is my favorite.
I'm a big
Yeah.
Alley Black guy.
We have similar backgrounds as far as martial arts goes, so I'd love to. He's so innovative with his style, and he's created something different that I don't think anyone's seen in a long, long time. So
My favorite move of his is when he kicks people's faces off.
like, every time.
So every time.
Maybe someday he'll kick somebody that can wrestle.
I will say that entrance that he has now that he's in NXT is we got to see it at Takeover
Takeover.
Chicago when we were out
okay.
there. It was unreal. Live.
Yeah.
Like that entrance theme. Like shouts out to Incendiary, by the way, fantastic band. But that was like super cool live. The whole look, everything about him is just great.
Yeah, they're letting him be him like he was on the Indies. But my other one would probably have to be. I'm gonna take it back to like the 60s, 50s. Buddy Rogers.
Ooh,
I
the
love
original
Buddy
Nature
Rogers.
Boy.
Yeah, he get me over hard.
He would do something hard.
Jesus. New Jersey native, by the way. I took Taekwondo
who
classes down the street
cares?
from his house.
Really?
Yeah, I grew up in New Jersey. There's a New Jersey is
We can
also
tell.
a hotbed for professional wrestling. My middle school gym teacher was brothers with King Kong Bundy, and my middle school principal and then the elementary school gym teacher. They both they were brothers in the same school district. One was the gym teacher in the elementary school, and then the other was the principal of the middle school. So I had them both. And the other one had a car dealership and sold my dad a car once. It was tight.
Interesting.
So,
Matt Stryker was a teacher.
yes, he was. He was also.
He's good. I don't care what they say about him.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a teacher.
Yeah. Are you really?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to college for right now, actually.
Nice.
I go to UT, yep.
What if WWE signs you?
And I'm going to be a WWE star.
Well, best of luck. Hopefully they sign you before you spend too much money on becoming a teacher.
Sam
Yeah.
Beale, PhD.
Hey man, never bad idea to have a plan B or a backup. So
Yep.
you know,
I guess.
or you could just be like Corey and have a podcast.
This is what this pays my bills.
This is it, baby. This is where the money's made. This is the big time.
This costs me money, actually. I have to request days off of work to do this.
And we appreciate you for it.
Like, oh, shit, it's Sunday. There's a pay-per-view. I can't work.
You're a mensch. So real quick, let's plug what's coming up. We know we have the Toledo Music Festival coming up June 10th.
That's coming up soon.
Yes.
Next weekend.
Yeah. So June 10th, that's coming up. Are you guys all booked on that, or
I will not be there.
you will not be there?
Oh.
Oh no.
You got a solo match?
I think so.
You should
I'm
turn
not
heel.
sure, though. No, I don't think so.
Get in while the getting's good, man. He's already booking matches for
That's
himself.
what
You
I'm
better
saying. Hit him before he hits you.
The last thing
I like him too much.
the last thing I would ever do is try to break up a tag team on our show. For the record,
I'm just saying, best friend tag teams, they make the best splits, man.
You should have seen me, and this kind of goes back to what you were saying with like how in some feds like people have like one persona or one character, and like in others. So like Spirit of Detroit still works tag in like other promotions, but in NOW they're singles, and like
Well, now they're definitely not a tag team in
But
NOW.
something like I was devastated when they broke up the first time in NOW. Like I was beside myself.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Well,
So I would never try to break up the aces. You guys keep doing what you're doing. So
turn heel.
what else is coming up for you guys? Anything else on the books that we can promote for you guys, or anything that you guys want to put out there for our listenership?
Look at the ladder match coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gonna be sweet.
What is that? Uprising 11?
Yeah.
When is that?
July 8th, is that it?
Yeah,
July
July
8th.
8th.
Yeah.
And that'll be here in Toledo, Ohio, at the
League
League
Center.
Yep. Or as I'm starting to call it, the NOW Arena. Mm-hmm. We'll just make that like the thing now.
The impact zone.
The NOW, the Now Zone.
The Now Zone.
Yeah. So cool, awesome. Where can people find you guys on the internet and
Social
online?
media.
Pornhub.com.
Search Alex Jordan.
You
Yeah.
want to tell me he doesn't work
All
here and he's
caps.
going to sit here and plug his website is?
Xtube.
Jesus.
All those other ones.
Oh no.
No, I'm not on Pornhub. That's not me.
Aces have
Not yet.
a Facebook page.
Yeah, we do. We're just the Natural Aces.
Just search it on Facebook.
Yeah.
and-
I mean, personally, we both have our own Twitter handles and Instagrams, but I mean,
yeah. Do you guys post a lot of like wrestling stuff on there? Or
Yeah,
is that
yeah.
something you want to?
Well, if you want to tell us how to find it.
I think
Yeah.
it's Myles_Ace, but I'm not sure. But just try that.
Just search Myles Ace until you find him.
mine's Sam Beale 23.
Okay.
That's easy enough.
On Facebook for my like page and then my actual account, it's Alex Jordan. Twitter is at the Notorious 003. Instagram is the Notorious_AJ, and I think that's it.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't want people having my personal Snapchat. So
No.
I also
Travis's are open.
Yeah, my DMs, as always, are 100%
Floods of
open.
DMs.
Ladies, if you want to, on the Audio Suplex Live Instagram.
He's brutally
or-
single.
I'm
No, I'm just kidding.
excruciatingly single. Well, something about like, hey, so I'd like to take you out on a date, but I have a wrestling podcast
got a wrestling
on
thing going
Thursdays
on.
that I can't, I got to do.
you can also find me on Tinder.
Swipe right on Jordan. There it is. Although that's gimmick infringement because there's
Swipe right on Jordan.
help me out.
Jinder Mahal.
Ohio wrestler.
Oh.
Darren De Niro.
The Maharaja.
Yep, the Tinder terrorist, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Braun Strowman's
Maharaja.
got that.
There's also an Ace Miles Facebook page just for that. Already preparing.
He's already got his own Facebook
I'm
page.
already
too. What the
preparing.
heck?
Sam, I'm telling you, man, get in while the getting's good.
Things are becoming
Maybe I
very
need
clear.
to watch my back.
Yeah.
Things are becoming
Wow.
clear here.
Unreal.
Oh.
You want to sit here and tell me that you can't work heel, and this whole time you've been trying to push him out of the picture?
We
here?
got a Sami Zayn Kevin Owens thing going on. But you're Kevin Owens because you're the asshole here. You're the one splitting off.
Oh man! As always, you can follow me on Twitter at xDrTX. You can follow me on whatever you want to. Just find me. You can follow Audio Suplex Live at Audio Suplex Live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pornhub, Snapchat. Corey, what's your social networks for us?
Don't follow me.
All right. Hey Joe, do you want to get us out of here?
Hey guys, we would like to thank the band Wax for our intro and outro music. You can check them out at waxoh.bandcamp.com. You have been listening to the Nerd Complex Podcast Network.
You've been listening to the Nerd Complex Podcast Network.